Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another video, and this time it's a slightly different one. You can see my face. We're going to be talking about the Club 100 community, and hopefully you'll find this video useful if you're planning on joining us. Now, motorsports has always been something considered a bit of an expensive pursuit, and I count myself lucky for being able to do it as long as I have. Club 100, no exception to this rule, but I can't recommend it enough, and I guarantee you, if you do end up taking the plunge, you'll absolutely love it. So, without further ado, let's talk the turkey, let's spill the beans, let's have a look at how much Club 100 costs. The first thing I want to mention before we get into anything is I'm really fortunate in terms of where I am in the country. Being in Gloucestershire puts me right on the M5 and only about 45 minutes away from the M4, so getting to and from events is pretty easy. When it comes to a fuel budget, I know a lot of drivers have to travel quite a way, so quite literally your mileage may vary, pun intended. So with all that said, here's my budget for 2023. In 2023, I'll be competing at SP60 on Saturdays and then the Sprint Championship on Sundays. I'm not the biggest fan of an early morning drive across the country, so typically on a Friday night, I'll travel over and find some reasonably priced accommodation, preferably no more than 15 minutes away from the circuit. This means I can have a leisurely Saturday morning, even if the SP60 is in the morning that weekend, and then head back to the accommodation on Saturday night to get some shut-eye ahead of the sprints on Sunday. Now, a round of SP60 will run you £280, and for the Sprint Championship on Sundays, it will run you 219 of your finest Imperial credits. I aim to be spending no more than £100 a night at wherever it is I'm lodging that weekend, but I rarely get close to this, if I'm honest. Side note, and they're not a sponsor for this video by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a good idea to be using something like booking.com if you are going to be staying nearby wherever the racing's happening at the weekend, because over the course of a season, you'll easily get into their rewards program, and you'll be ending up spending, or saving rather, about 20% each time you stay, which is just an added bonus. So without travel, a race weekend for me will set me back 699 Great British pounds. There are 10 rounds for the SP60 and the Sprint Championship, so not quite all in, that'll be 6,990 smackaroonies. But I hear you say, what about your travel budget? Well, let's have a look at that, shall we? The Club 100 Circus has and will head to Butmore Park, Shennington, Wilton Mill, Rye House, where they make the bread, Clay Pigeon, where they make the pigeons, Lydd, Landau and Ella Park, before heading back to Wilton Mill and Butmore one more time to close out the season. As you can see, this handy graph shows that with all things said and done, I'll be cruising the roads for about 2,580 miles this year. With fuel prices as they are, as of March 2023, I can budget around 500 bits of tin for the pleasure. And I've done some testing this year at Shennington, so I'll add another £105 for that, as I haven't been there for a very long time and seat time is king. This brings my total budget for 2023 in Club 100 to be £7,500. However, you do need to pay a £50 registration fee at the start of the year for each championship you enter, so for me, we'll add another 100 to that. So at the end of the day, which is when everything seems to happen, my Club 100 season will cost me £7,695. But I can appreciate that not everybody is going to be wanting to do SP60 and sprints. So assuming you'd be wanting to use the same fuel budget and you'd be travelling up the night before, you could expect to be spending £4,350 for an SP60 season, or £3,740 for a full season of sprint racing. Now, these are of course not insignificant amounts of money. As I said earlier, motorsport is a privilege that not everyone can afford. But considering the figures that we've seen so far are an all-in cost, Club 100 is incredible value for money. From the ages of 12 to about 22, I was lucky enough to participate in owner-driver racing and run as part of a team. If you were to do this today and buy everything as new, you'd be expecting to spend around £3,500 on a rolling chassis, £2,500 on a road tax engine, unless you plan on Flintstoning that bad boy. A new set of boosts costs close to £200 a go, and most club championships run over 11 or 12 rounds, so that's another £2,200 at best. You'll then have to consider a membership to wherever it is you're going to be racing, and race entry fees are around about £150 nowadays, a little bit less if you're a member. But that doesn't include practice, spares, travel, fuel, all those sorts of things. And if you did want to run under the management of a race team as well, you could be well in excess of another £5,000 a season. So, as an incredibly rough figure for some owner-driver racing, you could be expecting to part ways with over £15,000. Not an amount you're likely to find down the back of the sofa. So if you're thinking about joining Club 100 Racing, I hope this has helped shed some light on the costs that you might be needing to consider. Now, as I've already said, I couldn't recommend this enough. JV and his team put together an amazing fleet of karts which lead to competitive racing, and the fact that you get to go to lots of different circuits is an added bonus, which is something you wouldn't probably do if you were doing owner-driver racing at a club championship. I'm always happy to chat, so please leave a comment down below with any questions that you've got about Club 100. I'll be happy to talk to you, and hit that like and subscribe button as well with the bell so you don't miss a video. Or if you do join the Club 100 community and see me wandering the paddock, please do pop over and say hi. I really enjoy getting to meet the people that are part of the paddock and who I'm racing against. Until next time, have a good one.